So I'm gonna share 7 basic tips, which is like really inexpensive, and you can do it on a daily basis to protect your heart. Okay. So number one, as I said, there are 7 tips. Number one, it's about veggies and fruits. I had someone asking that. I know we all know, right? Like vegetables and fruits are really important, but how much to take and how can I improve my vegetable and fruit intake? And some of you may definitely tell me that I'm eating lots of vegetables, I'm taking as curry, sabji, I'm trying to eat 2 or 3 vegetables in a day. You know what? On an average, we do need 5 to 7 servings of vegetables every day and 2 servings of fruit. Like, how can I improve that vegetables and fruits? Having vegetables in your curry or in your sabji, I would say it is really good, but you may need more vegetables and fruits. How can I include this? I'm going to share you a 3 rule of thumb. That is, number one, try to take a vegetable juice or a fruit juice in your, before your breakfast. Juice, yes, I am a kind of a person who asks you to take fruits or vegetables as such, but for the heart healthy patients, it's good when you can still eat your breakfast, but try to include some juice. If you are kind of a person who has a sweet tooth, try to add some fruits into your vegetables. That way you are already taking care of your health even before your breakfast. Try to include a juice, carrot and orange juice, something like that, which you can easily make it. It doesn't require much of a preparation. Think of something simple. Try to include a vegetable or vegetable is the main thing. Combine a fruit if you're a sweet tooth, but try to take a vegetable juice before your breakfast. That way you're tackling the vegetable in the breakfast itself. And as well, if you're a person who likes to have breakfast, kind of a poha, for example, kind of a poha, try to include a handful of vegetables with the poha, just not like onions in the poha, right? I know we all like the lime poha or simple poha, but try to include some vegetables along with your poha or khichdi, like kind of a wholesome meal. Try to include vegetables, because breakfast is something we always miss having the vegetables. We usually miss taking vegetables in the breakfast. So try to start your day with some vegetables, at least 1 or 2 vegetables during your breakfast. That's what I'm trying to say. And number two, what you can do is include a raw salad. Especially in your lunch or in your breakfast. I'm not sure whether it is visible for you guys. I'm trying to make it visible as much as possible. Yeah, try to include a raw salad, like a cucumber salad or carrot, whatever it's available, whatever is seasonable. Try to include at least one vegetable, like a raw, along with your cooked sabjis. And initially it might be a struggle, but once you get used to it, you are definitely going to it is definitely going to become a part of your routine. So try to include a raw salad along with your sabjis in the afternoon, as well as try to include in your dinner. And then number 3 is include 2 fruits in a day. It could be any fruit. 2 servings of fruit is important. That way you are tackling your vegetable and fruit portion for your day, and that way the fiber is, that way you are getting more fiber, which is definitely, it is much needed for your heart conditions. So if you are combining this 3 rule of thumb, if you are trying to include, then you're good to go with the vegetable and fruit part. Moving on to our second point, try to switch your simple carbs into your complex carb. I know you guys might have heard it a million times, right? Simple carbs into complex carb. I mean, you don't have to switch everything. Take one step at a time. Make it a small shift. For example, if you're a person who used to eat white bread, try to switch it to brown bread or a multigrain bread. Like like even when you're choosing the multigrain bread, try to pick up the bread which is like made from the whole grains. So look for the whole foods, which is like a complex carbs. And another thing is, most of us have got used to eating white plain rice, right? I'm not blaming anyone, and it is hard to switch. I'm not asking you to switch completely to brown rice. No, at least try to switch your simple plain white rice into time tried polished rice. That way it is not, I mean, it is not kind of refined. So try to make small shifts. And also try, I mean, if you try to avoid the pre-packaged or ultra processed foods like refined foods, that way you are gonna include more complex carbs in your diet. Try to be innovative with your carbs, like that millets, ragi, or quinoa, whatever is seasonal in your region. It's not something, if you are living in abroad, you have to go and buy all those millets, different millets. No, what is available for you, try to include those things in your diet. That way it is more sustainable, rather than buying that millet, I mean, once in 4 months. Try to include what is more available for you, what is more seasonal for you. That way you are keeping it as a sustainable food. And number 3, try to yes, oil is one question I got it during our chat, I mean during my Q&A session, like what type of oil should I use, especially for the heart healthy person, because oil is more important, right? Try to avoid refined oils. Yes, I said that, because refined oil is not doing any good to your body. It is something, if you are cooking with refined oil, it's something that you are insulting your body every day. You're trying to put the inflammatory, because if you are using inflammatory, or I mean, if you're using refined oils every day, it's kind of an inflammatory marker. It's going to not help your heart, because it's gonna cause more inflammation around your heart. Okay, so then what oil can I use? Try to switch it to your mustard oil or unfiltered peanut oil, or something which is like less less filtered. I mean, try to avoid, whenever it says refined oil, try to avoid that oil. And if you're a person who comes and tell me like, I'm using olive oil, you know what, if you're a person who is cooking Indian type of food, then I would say try avoiding olive oil. No matter how much ever you are spending, like the most expensive olive oil you're buying, it's not gonna help in Indian cooking. Some olive oils, they do say you can cook it, but you know what, those olive oils are again refined olive oils. Olive oils are supposed to be, they are processed. It's kind of it's a cold pressed oil, so it is beneficial when you are taking it as such, like salads or something. If you're taking just like that without heating, because when you heat the olive oil, you are losing all the benefits. So again, it is of no use if you are using olive oil for your Indian type of cooking. Okay, so what oil can you use? As I said, unfiltered coconut oil or peanut oil, mustard oil, and even you can use half a teaspoon of ghee in your lunch or dinner. That is going to be more beneficial. Or also you can use butter, like homemade churned butter. These are, you can add it, because these are going to benefit as long as you are staying within the limits. And yeah, try to invest your money and your energy in investing to your health, which is going to do good for you. I mean, try to avoid the olive oil, which is more expensive than the regular oils. If you are cooking for Indian cooking, try to avoid that. That's what I'm trying to say here. So there is another point, the major point. Hope it answered your question. And then moving on to non-veg. This is Another common thing I got is, can I still eat non-veg? Because the doctors, I mean, they might say try to avoid non-veg. I mean, if you're a person who is eating non-veg, I'm not going to ask you to stop eating non-veg, because some people are used to having fish every day during a meal. Fish is really good, right? I mean, it has more omega-3 fatty acids, and it has more more good fat in it. So try to keep eating the fish, but try to change your cooking method. Stop doing the deep fried, switch it to baked or grilled fish. That way you're not using much of oil, you're benefiting from the fish that you are eating. Baking is one thing, yeah, bake it, steam it or grill it. Those are easy process as well. You don't have to stand for a longer time, it's gonna cook by itself. That way it is easy as well as it's going to be tasty. Some people may miss that taste, but you know what, you can add in any flavor you want. That way you are still enjoying the food that you are eating. And for people, who tells me that if you're still a vegetarian, and how to get your proteins, try to sprout your legumes. That way you are increasing your protein consumption rather than taking it as such. Try to sprout your legumes and dals and beans. That way you are enhancing the nutrients as well. And yes, chicken is something you can definitely, make differences, make shifts in your cooking method. You can have chicken as much as you would like, as long as you are cooking it in baking or steaming it or putting it in the soup or making it as a curry rather than deep frying it. That is one way you could switch. And about the red meat, how can I not talk about the red meat, right? Red meat is something, yes, it does have more of unsaturated fatty acids. That's why, which is not gonna benefit much with your heart. But if you like it as for the taste, I would say you can still take it maybe once in a month or once in 2 months. Yes, you can take it, not as frequently, but once in a month or once in 2 months. You can take the red meat. All right, so that is one thing. I think we tackled the 4th point. And the 5th point is the salt. The salt is again really important when it comes to heart. Why is it? Because the sodium is going to reduce the hypertension, keeps your body stable, and it's going to protect your heart, right? The recommended amount of salt for persons who are under heart healthy conditions is like 3 to 5 grams, which is like half a teaspoon to 3/4 of a teaspoon, which is really less, I know. How can you tackle that is try to avoid salt while cooking completely, and try to add you will get used to it. Try to add salt at the table. The reason why I'm saying here is, when you add it at the table, you don't tend to add more salt. You actually need a little teeny tiny amount, and try to switch the salt into a more unprocessed salt. That way you are again increasing the nutrient and absorption levels. And another thing you could do is, you can definitely add more flavors to your food, like adding mint leaves or oregano, or if you're kind of Western cooking, you can add parsley, oregano, all those stuff. And for the Indian cooking, try to add mint, pepper. Even Indian cooking has a lot of flavors. We do eat a lot of flavors, so try to increase the flavors. That way you're using less salt. All right, and then moving on to the 6th point, that is portion control. Why am I saying portion control? Because as soon as you have been diagnosed, that's the main thing they will target. try to eat less, right? And if you love food, if you're a person who eats a plate full of foods, try how, I mean, you might be wondering, how can I portion control, right? Try to split your meals. If you're a person who eats like 3 meals a day, try to split your meals into 6 or 4 or 5, whatever works for you. That way you are feeling more satisfied, more fulfilling. And try to balance the meal. Like whenever you are taking a plate, make sure 1/3 of the plate is about like carbs, and 1/3 of the plate is about like vegetables or fruits, and 1/3 is about your protein, whatever you are adding. Try to having a balanced plate, and make sure it also has fat which comes from the healthy food sources. All right. That way you're gonna control your portion. It may not come in, at first time. It may take some time for some people. It may take a week or 2, or for some people maybe a year or 2. You have to keep trying. That way you're gonna ease that habit. And the last and final thing is, try to eat slow, try to eat consciously. This is something I've been telling everybody. It's not only for the heart healthy patients. Try to spend your time for your meal at least 15 to 20 minutes for your meal, because the time you're going to spend for your meal is the time that you are investing in yourself. So try to spend 15 to 20 minutes for your meal. If it's not possible for all the 3 meals, try to spend at least for dinner. That's a small step you're gonna take, at least for a lunch, if lunch is possible. So try to spend your time, try to spend at least 15 to 20 minutes for your meals without any distractions, and chew your food well. And yeah, these are the small simple things that you could do. These are the modifications, 7 modifications that you can do to protect your heart. If you have more questions, hope I answered all the questions that I got. If you have more questions, definitely post it in the comments below. I would try to answer it as quickly as possible. Until then, have a lovely day, rest of your day, and enjoy, and stay healthy and stay safe. Thanks. Bye bye.